So in this video, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about this pen. It's the Zebra Pitan. And basically what it is, it's a small, clipless, retractable pen that is meant to be used with a notebook. If you're using a paper notebook, then it's pretty easy to grab the notebook and forget to have a pen with you. And if you don't have something as you're going into the meeting or as you're opening up your bag and you find your notebook but no pen, obviously it's a pretty serious problem. And this is basically a system to combine the two. A lot of notebooks now have pen holders or a couple straps or something like that, but many also don't. So this is sort of a pen and holder system that you can buy to solve for that problem. Just really quickly, here's the pen itself. It's very simple. It's a simple column. There's obviously some metal here because it holds on to the little notebook holder, which is this piece right here. Magnetically, it has a little lanyard, which is for removing the pen from the notebook area, just like that. And it's a gel pen. So it's not part of Zebra's Sarasa series, but it kind of technically could have been. Okay, so that's sort of the basics. Let's kind of get into the specifics. So here are some of the packaging here. It's the Pitan, or Pitan. I keep wanting to say Piton, which is Piton, which would be like the piece of climbing equipment, like a peg you would use in a rock climbing wall, which kind of made sense for me. Like this is kind of like maybe climbing on the side of your notebook, so they call it the Piton, but it's not. It's Pitan. It's a gel ink roller ball, basically a gel pen. It says waterproof ink, so it's probably pigmented, and it uses a Sarasa refill, but it's not part of the Sarasa line. It has this nice little packaging here. There's no price on it. I would imagine it'd be like $12, $13, $14 in Japan, where it's sold. In the US now, you could find it from a few sellers for about $20. Here's the materials that come with it. You can see the pen comes in some other colors. Here's the system, clicks into place, very simple. And here are the installation instructions. Basically, you have a little piece of plastic here that protects your notebook from the clip, which is cool. And then that just clips on. And then there's the notebook strap. Okay, so here it is installed in just a standard moleskin. And basically what happens is you have this little blue shelf here, just kind of plastic with some metal there. When you need the pen, when you want to store the pen, it goes here. There are some little ledges here, which I think are used to basically align the pen so it doesn't slide up or down. It has a little bit of a grindy metal on metal feel here, but it's not that bad. And you can see now the problem and why the lanyard is there is you want to get the pen. It's not that easy. You can kind of like slide it off, but it's round, so it spins. They didn't put probably could have solved that by having a little, sometimes they put a little like nub here, which is an anti-roll. But if you put it down on that nub, maybe that would be a problem. Anyway, so they said, okay, how do I get it here if I can't pinch it off? You could obviously do this. That's not great. So they put the lanyard at the end, and you could just grab, like kind of pinch that lanyard. This is magnetic, clearly. It's on there pretty well. It's not perfectly on there. It's, I haven't knocked it off though. So it does not want to come off. So I would say A+ for magnetic strength. You don't want to do it too strong. It'd be impossible to pull off. You don't want to do it too weak. That would be the worst case scenario. It would come off all the time. I think they nailed the strength there. As far as the installation goes, let's pull it to the, there you go. So open up the notebook. We see a little clip here. That's a metal clip. It works on notebooks between, I think they said 0.3 and 1.0 millimeter. Again, this is a moleskin, so it's on the thick side. It's like a cardboard or a hardboard, whatever they call it. This has the folder in the back, so it's a little bit thicker. Here you can see there's a little like vinyl, a little piece of plastic here that folds over the notebook. That's just so this piece of metal doesn't mess up the notebook. I think that was a clever idea. You can see it kind of peeking out there. And there's the metal piece on the back. This metal piece concerns me because if this is next to your laptop and it's kind of up like this, I could see it causing some scratching. So you want to be careful here. And I don't know another solution. You could put a piece of tape over this, but that would be kind of unsightly. So gotta think through that one a little bit for yourself. There's a little bit of branding here. You could see they did the maybe you could say, there you go. You could see the eye has that little loop over it, so that's nice. Kind of brings everything together. To remove it, you want to be careful. This one's on really tight. You can see this plastic start to bend. So the removal process, again, you just want to do carefully, especially if your notebook is on the thicker side like this one. There's the clip. Here's the plastic protector. Again, this would be easy. You could use a piece of tape or something like that. This one helps to add a little bit of thickness on the inside. But basically, to install it, you just make a little sandwich here, or you kind of fold it inside there, and you open your notebook up. And again, this one's on the thick side, but you put that tab in the back, and you want to keep this thing out a little bit. You could put the plastic on first as well, if that's easier for you. Let's do it that way. And now this thing just sort of slides into place. It's pretty simple. It's on there quite firmly. Again, the only downside is you put some little dents in your notebook. It doesn't really matter. And then you have an exposed edge here. It lifts up, a millimeter or two. So you want to be careful there, but not a major problem. Pen itself is on the small side. So these are 1/2-inch markers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4 inches, something like that. Here's next to a Uniball 1F, maybe P, something like that. I forget which one that is. And what else do we have? A pencil, and here's a weird pencil. It's probably not very helpful. And here you go. Here's a pretty standard Jetstream. So this is like the best comparison here. Here's our standard Jetstream. This is the Ocean, and then the Marine, the Ocean, something like that. And this is the Pitan, and you can see it's a good deal smaller. It's also quite thin, so it's like for jotting, I would say largely. It's not uncomfortable to hold, but it's definitely not a very large pen. And there's nothing here. It's a metal body, which is nice, but there's really no grip or anything like that. This thing is kind of flopping around on top. That's nice, kind of cool, definitely different. You could probably attach this to a lanyard or something if you want to keep it around your neck, I guess. No clip, so there's nothing stopping it from rolling, which usually not a problem, but can be annoying. Pretty light button. I feel like they could have beefed that up a little bit, but again, we're like splitting hairs here. Refill comes out by unscrewing this, and it's pressure fitted in there. And this is a Sarasa refill. It's specifically the JK05. So it's the 0.5 millimeter. There's also this is usually sold just as the Sarasa refill, but it's the JK05. There's also a JK07. I don't know if they make a JK10, and I'm pretty sure they don't make the 0.38 in this one. And it presses in there. That way, it's like essentially just a multi-pen refill. So you're not getting a giant capacity, especially out of a gel refill. As far as the writing goes, it's a Sarasa, right? So it's a JK05 in the Pitan, not Pitan, and it's a good writer. It's a Sarasa gel refill. We've reviewed many of them on this channel, and they're always good. It's nice, it's smooth, even though it's a 0.5. It's very reliable, holds up well. Doesn't last that long in this multi-pen refill, but it's easy to replace, and there's a a range of colors available. I really like Sarasa gel refills. There's not too much to complain with them. I tend to write like the newer ones, like the Sarasa R, but they're all quite good. So yeah. As far as this pen goes, I think it's a fun and interesting thing. I like these pen systems. I think they're kind of just just fun to have and interesting to buy. So I do recommend trying them out time to time. Usually I end up not really using them, but I really do appreciate the design involved. And that's the case here. For $20, this was a bit expensive for me, and it's a little bit awkward putting it on the notebook based on the utility you gain, but for some people, I think it'll be a really fun purchase. Thanks for watching.